Chapter 10, Trump Tower, Manhattan, Summer 1985. Life is good for Donald Trump. Life is good. Who has just turned 39. He sits in his office knowing that he owns one-third of perhaps the most valuable building in the world. Yes, I do. In addition, he has now acquired a casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and will soon preside over the dramatic Mar-a-Lago property in Palm Beach, Florida, once the home of the famously wealthy Marjorie Merriweather Post. It's mine now. Donald now has 3 children who live with him and Ivana on the top 3 floors of the 68-story high-rise. The Trump Organization is housed with other businesses throughout the first 19 floors. In 1985, the average cost of a home in the United States is $96,500. But to buy even the most inexpensive apartment in Trump Tower, you would need millions. Millions. Show me the money. Celebrities such as Bruce Willis, Liberace, and Johnny Carson have all been buyers. The volatile Carson, however, did not stay long. As the story goes, he misplaced a coat and accused some Trump employees of stealing it. 2 people were fired. Shortly after that, Carson found the coat. Shortly after that, he sold his place. Looking pretty bad there, Johnny. Steven Spielberg also has a residence in Trump Tower, even as he is marketing his hit film The Color Purple, starring Oprah Winfrey. Who cares about Oprah Winfrey? Donald Trump is well aware of the glamour and status that are now attached to his building. Yes, I do. Where a waterfall cascades in the atrium, the Trump name has become a selling point. I know how to sell things. As he strategizes in his office, Donald Trump may or may not be aware that a Panamanian holding company will soon purchase an apartment at Trump Tower in secret for the notorious Jean-Claude Duvalier, the deposed and despised dictator of Haiti, a man who looted hundreds of millions from the most impoverished country in the Western Hemisphere. Baby Doc, as he is known, wants the elaborate security in place at Trump Tower to protect him from avengers. While running Haiti, he used his secret police, the Tonton Makote, to terrorize thousands. Duvalier has legions of enemies who would kill him if they could. That's what you get when you're a dictator. It is impossible to ascertain exactly how much Donald Trump knows about what goes on inside his growing empire. I'm not a psychic, you know. He is not a leasing agent. No, I'm not. But he is surely aware that on all major building projects in New York City, including Trump Tower, organized crime is involved. Well, what can you do? The mayor, governor, and perhaps even President Ronald Reagan also know about mob activity inside the city's vast construction industry because it is common knowledge within the Justice Department. The FBI has been tasked with stopping the corruption. That's what they're supposed to do. In 1980, Donald Trump chose to have Trump Tower constructed using primarily concrete. Now that stuff is good. Not steel girder, the other option. Structures built with concrete go up faster. However, concrete is more expensive than steel. Hey, I got the money for it. In New York City, the organized crime families controlled the concrete industry through the Teamsters Union Local 282. If a developer wanted concrete poured, that union supplied the labor, and mob-run concrete companies like Scara Mix in Staten Island provided the material. If a builder defied the union, the Hudson River beckoned. That's not good. In 1985, a mobster named Constantino Big Paul Castellano oversaw the concrete situation. He was a big man. As head of the Gambino crime family, Big Paul put his son Philip in charge of Scara Mix, and the construction money rolled in. Again, New York and federal authorities were aware for years that this was how the business of building was done in the city because the FBI had wiretapped. Tapped. Right. The FBI had wiretapped Castellano's Staten Island mansion and, in early 1985, indicted him and a number of other alleged mobsters in the so-called Mafia Commission trial. One of Big Paul's lawyers was Roy Cohn. Sound familiar? A number of reporters have sought to involve Donald Trump directly with the illegalities going on in the New York City construction industry. They've been trying to get me for a long time with just about anything. Everyone's always blaming me for something. Knock it off already. This is grossly unfair. You better believe it's unfair. If Trump had been a hands-on participant, his name would certainly have surfaced on the federal wiretaps. Evidence shows that the Trump Organization did what every other major builder did. That is, make deals with the companies and unions in place at the time. That's what you do. That's business. It is certainly true that Donald Trump was aware of Big Paul and his top enforcer, John Gotti, because the newspapers often covered their nefarious activities. I'm not stupid, you know. I don't care what you say, I am not stupid. And then there is Roy Cohn. So it is likely that Donald Trump paid acute attention to the gunning down of Big Paul Castellano on December 16, 1985. I was completely aware of that. Arriving at the Sparks Steakhouse for dinner in Manhattan, Castellano was assassinated on the order of Gotti, who resented Castellano for resisting expansion into the illegal narcotics industry. Don't do drugs. Big Paul, out on $3 million bail at the time he was murdered, was denied a Catholic funeral and burial by order of the church. Well, he was an unrepentant sinner. Chances are that's what's going to happen. Despite the murder, nothing much changed in the city's construction industry. The year 1985 sees New York City flush as Reaganomics has finally taken hold, leaving the recession-ridden Carter administration a distant memory. On paper, Donald Trump's success over a 14-year period is stunning. You better believe it's stunning. By some estimates, the Trump Organization has amassed $1 billion in assets and almost unlimited lines of credit from American banks. If Donald Trump wants it, Donald Trump can buy it. I have the money for it. And he doesn't have to use his own money. The Trump brand now opens financial lending doors everywhere. In addition, Trump has achieved fame in New York and is gaining recognition everywhere else. He is not yet a household name like Joe Namath or the rising fame of Michael Jordan, but he's on his way. I will get there. His mind constantly racing, Donald Trump envisions a worldwide empire of property and products. I have a vision. He has the financial resources. Now all it will take is marketing, and Trump is a genius at that. You want to talk about marketing? I can tell you everything that I know. Although Donald Trump does not know it in 1985, but surely knows now, fame is dangerous. Yes, it is. Wealth and recognition cause envy. Money is a magnet for grifters, blackmailers, sycophants, and deceivers. Johnny Carson began his career hosting a TV program called Who Do You Trust? Nobody. Then he became a superstar late-night host, amassing a fortune. But with that came 3 bitter divorces and a number of public drinking embarrassments. It is embarrassing. As Donald Trump celebrates his success in 1985, Carson is receiving a Peabody Award for his contributions to America. But by all accounts, he is an isolated human being who trusts very few. Same with Donald Trump. We have so much in common. Nevertheless, the voter wants Carson-like fame. Unlike his father and brother, who are content to enjoy their money privately, Donald is Mr. Ostentatious. I am. And so is his wife, ostentatious. Gold fixtures dominate their triplex apartment high above the city of 8 million people. Murals are painted on the ceilings. Donald's Atlantic City Casino is over-the-top glitz, with Ivana Trump waving the dubious taste wand as the primary decorator of the garnish facility. She was the best. She certainly was. There has always been a display of wealth, and always will be, Donald told Playboy magazine. And let me tell you, a display is a good thing. It shows people that you can be successful. It can show you a way of life. It's very important that people aspire to be successful. The only way you can do it is to look at somebody who is. Like Joe Namath. Yes, like Joe Namath. One of the more fascinating things about Donald Trump is that he has never wavered in that philosophy, that operational greed is good. But behind the scenes, he is not obsessed with jewels, or gourmet food, or fine wine. No, I'm not. He uses his wealth as a marketing tool, a success brand. And unlike some moneyed folks, Trump does not use affluence to demean. He has many loyal associates, such as former executive assistant Norma Fortier and his secretary, Ronna Graff. I have known these 2 women for many years, and they love Donald Trump. Yes, they do. As do his children. Everybody loves me. except for the Democrats and the fake news media. But there is no question that Donald Trump did some dubious things in order to become famous, and history shows that he and others around him paid a price for that. Hey, I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. Are you perfect? Remember the words of our Lord Jesus Christ, how he said, "He who is without sin, let him cast the first stone." Come on, throw something at us. We know you want to. In 1983, the Nintendo video game console was released, beginning a mass market for electronic gizmos that eventually morphed into personal computers and smartphones. Today, famous people and their families suffer grievously due to the Twitter mob and the unbridled cruelty that social media facilitates. And I know how to use Twitter. The machines, as I call them, are taking over the world and burning down traditional decorum. Famous people, including presidents, can build walls around their homes and hire armed security protection. That's what we should do. They can also avoid most face-to-face interaction with other human beings. I prefer to keep to myself sometimes. But they can't stop the false accusations, instant disparagement, and rank hatred that are launched with the flick of a thumb. If you are famous, you are a target, and sooner or later, the arrow will find you. And I had to learn the hard way. Throughout the rest of the 1980s, Donald Trump will expand his wealth and grow his fame across the land. All the while, his family is experiencing the Trump phenomenon in a variety of ways. Some good, some bad. There's good and bad in everything. Donald Trump's attention is squarely on increasing his brand, which he believes will lead to more power and greater wealth. It does. His family are bystanders to that. But a fall is coming, as it almost always does, and Donald Trump will not be ready for it. Get ready for what's to come in Chapter 11 in the next video.